And good morning. I'm just simply not going to wait another hour and 11 minutes till 4:44. I've already been up over an hour and been to the computer for the last 20, 25 minutes or so. And I'm ready to go, and I'm just going to go. I'm going to go at 3:33 instead of 4:44. And today's topic is going to be one of those that's going to draw a lot of attention, because this kind of a topic always does. Illuminati, the hidden hand behind spiritual awakening. This is undoubtedly one of the most difficult topics to bridge in dealing with the spiritual awakening happening now. Approached from our polarized minds, there is no way to bridge the gap in our understanding. To even imply that evil has a higher purpose sounds insane. Yet that is precisely what I am trying to remind even myself. All things work together for good. All things. That's so easy to forget. Here's the link on my website to the hidden hand material that was posted about 3 years ago. Whew. So, hidden hand. I titled the page, first of all, at the top of the page on that link to on my website, I say a catalyst for thinking people, and then I have a note from Ron. This is a unique dialogue between a self-professed member of a ruling bloodline family and questioners on an internet blog. I find it fascinating. Many things I found to be very resonant with me. It certainly brought up many thoughts and feelings. I also read from the blog itself, which included many more questions and comments. If you think this is long, try reading everything that was on that blog. All of Hidden Hand's posts are included here. And just to give you a little bit of an introduction, the topic actually started on the 18th of October in 2008 by one identifying himself as Hidden Hand. And this was actually posted on abovetopsecret.com forum. He began the dialogue this way. I am a generational member of a ruling bloodline family. Every so often, as per the directives of the law of our Creator, a brief window of opportunity opens, whereby a select handful of our family are required to make communication with our subjects and offer you the chance to ask us any questions you would like answered. I am double bound in this duty. It is required of me by the law of our Creator to offer this opportunity to you at this time, though I am also bound by the law of planetary free will, and by my family oaths that there is only so much I am able to say. Rules define life in games. If you wish to participate, here they are. I will afford you courtesy and respect in the manner I address you, and I expect the same from you in reciprocation. I will decide whether or not I am either willing or permitted to answer your question. If your question is not answered, it is either because I cannot disclose it, or because I considered your question was lacking in one or more of the following: respect, courtesy, intelligence, decency, or that it was otherwise unworthy of being dignified with a response. That you agree to treat this potential dialogue with an aspect of provisional faith. In practice, this means that rather than impeding the flow of information with crass comments of disbelief or petty name-calling, my participation here requires that you discourse with me under suspended judgment. In other words, wait until the process is complete before deciding for yourself as to the content of truth and knowledge imparted herein. That you formulate your questions intelligently. My time is limited. I do not want to waste it by having to trawl through pointless, futile, insensible, or disrespectful questions. Therefore, I will answer the questions I feel are most deserving of a response during the time that I have available. Use the time we have wisely. If any of the above conditions are breached, I reserve the right to terminate our discourse forthwith if I so choose. That being said, I will attempt to answer your questions as honestly and openly as is permissible for me. I will check back and respond as time allows. The first question he received: how many generations back does your bloodline extend? Or perhaps more accurately, who does your family consider its earliest ancestor in a position of power? Hidden Hand replies, our lineage can be traced back from antiquity. From the earliest times of your recorded history and beyond, our family has been directing the play from behind the scenes in one way or another, before the rise and fall of Atlantis. Yes, that was indeed perfectly real. We are born to lead. It is part of the design for this current paradigm. To what extent, the second question, has selective breeding been used to preserve the purity of the line, and what becomes of children of unapproved unions? They would naturally still be raised with privilege, but not, perhaps, given the keys to the castle, as it were. His answer: the breeding is generally case-specific, dependent upon the role of the family members in question, are due to grow into. I will touch more on this in the answer to the next poster's question that you rephrased. There are no unapproved unions. Our family will always intermarry between lines, or what we would term houses. Marriages are arranged. In all my years alive, I have never seen or heard of a family member breaking this code as far as marriage goes. You do as you are told. One cannot join the family. One is born or incarnated into it. On the rare instances of a child being born that could be seen as bringing difficulties, you are correct in your premise that it would be raised as a part of the family, though it would not grow up in the house or community of either of its parents. If one were to imagine a scale, perhaps as a triangle with political, religious, and corporate power at the 3 points, how would you categorize the power your family yields? Balanced, leaning more towards one or two than a third, heavily favoring one of the three above the others, and has that position shifted over time? His answer: you need to first understand the structure of the family. In the grand scheme of things, the line is not important as the house. The house is not as important as the family. The family is all. No matter the house or line, we are one, truly international family. Imagine, if you will, a body. A house would represent a vital organ or body part within the body itself. Each part has an important role to play in the functioning of the whole, and each of us, the whole, has our undivided loyalty. As I say, many lines, far more than you are aware of. One family. Our realms of influence do not fit as comfortably into the 3 boxes of your triangle as you may imagine. There are 6 disciplines of training within the family, and each member of the family is schooled extensively in all of them from early childhood. We all have an area of specialty, though we have experience in all spheres. The 6 spheres or schools of learning are military, government, spiritual, scholarship, leadership, and sciences. In practice, out there on the stage of public life, we hold key positions in all these main areas of importance. With the addition of a complicit media machine and ownership of your financial establishment, all bases are covered. I'm going to stop the reading right there from the Hidden Hand material. If you want to get more, you're going to have to go to the website and look it up. I have consolidated it the best I could, and as I said, this has been on my website for about 3 years now, somewhere in that vicinity. Anyway, it is fascinating to me what was revealed in this, and I've had a tendency myself to forget about it. But this is critically important now. I'm reminded in recent days, as I've meditated and as it keeps coming back to me, that I need to share the Hidden Hand material. Because I, like so many, get caught up in the evil of our world, the things that just don't make sense. And I have a tendency, like so many other human beings, to push against what is wrong with the world, which is not correcting the problem, although it is part of the awakening process. And that's what I want you to understand. The human nature being what it is, we do not easily grow and change our perception unless things are challenged and make our beds uncomfortable. So evil is perhaps one of our greatest teachers in the world, yet it is an illusion. The evil comes from the illusion of separation. Here's a ruling bloodline that sees itself as separate, and the ruling class, they do not see themselves as connected to the rest of us, and they have a specific job. And I want you to remember what he said at the beginning. This is by divine directive. Did you hear that, folks? This is from the law of our Creator, and he's talking about the same God that is good. And yet their mission, Hidden Hand's mission, which has been fulfilled very, very strongly in our day and age, is to be 97% evil. How could a good God, a loving Creator, allow such a travesty? To allow rulership and leadership in a world where they are directed, their prime directive is to be evil, is to be totally selfish and self-centered. How could a loving God do that to us? Now some will say, God didn't. That's Lucifer. Get over it. Lucifer is a light bearer, the brightest angel in the kingdom of heaven. He's been demonized, but he has a role to play. This drama, this polarized factioning of us against them and them against us, is just that. It's a drama. It's a story created for evolutionary purposes, so that we could forget who we really are. Because remember, everything in creation, all of creation, comes from one source, only one, that divided itself into two apparently opposing camps. Why would it do that? So that we could know ourselves, or so that it, source, he, God, she, goddess, could know self. That's the only logical, reasonable explanation. To know thyself. Isn't that what the ancient Greek philosopher said? Know thyself? And the writer More recently, to thine own self be true, and as day follows night, thou canst not be false to another. We each have roles to play, and I forget that in the drama that I get caught up in as I push against what I don't want. But as Abraham, channeled by Esther Hicks, said in one that I listened to yesterday, when we push against something, we're already creating the solution if we will allow it to flow. But as long as we keep pushing against what we don't like and what we don't want, we don't allow the flow of the solution to come in, because the universe will balance itself. That's the way the cosmos is designed. The universe will bring things back into equilibrium and homeostasis. That's the nature of the universe, of the cosmos. It cannot remain imbalanced on the side of evil. It cannot remain that way. But the evil is part of the awakening process. This is the hardest thing for us to get through our heads and into our hearts, which is why Spirit impressed upon me in meditation this morning to go back and start doing Ho'oponopono again. There was a time I did it pretty much every day, but I haven't been doing it lately. No wonder, perhaps, that I have felt so disconnected lately, or less connected than I have in the past, because I'm not coming at it from a place of love. I've been pushing against what I don't want, instead of recognizing what I don't want as a gift to move from fear to love, and to love myself even when I feel fearful, and to embrace myself and to say, I'm sorry, I forgive you, I love you, thank you. That's Ho'oponopono. Simple. So simple that we don't do it, that we forget easily. And when I say we, I'm including me, because I forget. This is a cosmos that we live in that is predisposed to our good. The highest and best intentions in all that is allowed to happen in life, in our experience, though it may seem like it's an illusion. The illusion is that we are separate from our good. We cannot be separated from our good. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. Nothing. And all things serve God, even the devil. Now get it through your heads that the game that we've been playing is a game of deception, of fraud. Is it any wonder our government has come to what it is? How do we change it? Love is the only transformer in all of the universe, for it is the only truth. Everything else is a lie. Love is the only truth, and you don't even need the word unconditional, because love itself is unconditional, or it's not love. Anytime you imply a condition or put a condition upon your love, it's no longer love, it's fear. And we need to understand that clearly so that we can grow up. I encourage you, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it myself, to look at this window of opportunity, the Hidden Hand Question and Answer Forum. Look at the material contained therein and ask the Holy Spirit to allow you to see and read through the eyes of love. Ask for wisdom, because that is the most important thing if we're going to create a world that works for everyone. And that includes the Illuminati. I leave you with these thoughts and the challenge to explore, to educate yourself, to get beyond the limited thinking that has characterized your life and mine until this current generation and time that we're living in. Thank you. Namaste, and God bless.